Avinash, PSUs are not the favorites right now. Almost every single PSU is now shunned because of possible, government stake sale that may come up in the future, or some other reasons as well. NBCC is off almost 25-30% from the highs. Somehow, all marketing companies are actually charting a different course for themselves.
No, I think oil marketing companies, Neeraj, have done remarkably well. If you see the fourth quarter performance for both HP as well as Bharat Petroleum, I think numbers were much ahead of the street. In fact, dividends have also been very attractive. My sense is, I think with crude prices likely to remain soft, we had the OPEC meeting where nothing great was heard about any output, decrease. But looking at the kind of commentary coming in from there, it looks very clear that oil prices are not going to go up in a very big way, at least in the near term. So that means obviously, gross refining margins for these companies could improve, and clearly the markets are now looking forward that going forward, petrol and diesel is now completely deregulated, no losses on these two products. Going forward, it could be either LPG or kerosene, and if that happens, probably you'll see a further run up in these companies. In fact, the kind of earnings trajectory which one could see for FY16 purely from petrol and diesel, I think that itself would be a key kind of.
You would buy an HP or a BP?
I would prefer HP because Bharat Petroleum also has got some exploration assets which currently don't enjoy that kind of premium multiple. But HP definitely looks much more attractive if you compare it with BP.
What about Nestle, Avinash? Fundamentally, do you think with Singapore coming out and giving a clean chit to import of Nestle, even though Goa and the samples there are in a spot of a bother, but just the fact that a country like Singapore has gone ahead and given a clean chit, and that's, I'm guessing, led to this uptick as well, above 6,000 now for Nestle. Do you think this 15% correction, at 6,000 it's corrected about 15% from the highs, do you think that's good enough for somebody to make an investment into an MNC like Nestle?
No, I think, Neeraj, if you take out the short-term impact of the Maggi noodle, especially for maybe a couple of quarters, I think the longer-term picture definitely looks bright. I would not be hesitant to say that if one takes a longer-term call, these kind of setbacks eventually would be neutralized, and the company would definitely make a correction in the way the company packages its products, and ensures that the regulatory part of the business is taken care of. I think we had seen Cadbury also facing such kind of problems. They came out of it quite successfully, although it did take a long time. So I think somebody who wants to take a longer term call, maybe invest for the next 1.5 years, I think this is a very good opportunity. Normally MNCs bounce back, and things are forgotten quite easily.
So the point is, you do not see, because technically, the charts may suggest some weakness, even though Mitesh, I know, highlighted that, this uptrend of this bounce back is likely to extend itself. He said that about 213. That's exactly how the stock has played out. So it's up 9%. But my question to you, Avinash, is that there is still opinion in the market that if more news to this effect comes out, then there would be downward pressure on the stock. So if the stock were to go at 5,500, 5,000 levels, and that's a screaming buy.
I think anybody wants to buy can definitely, Tanvir, average their buying, maybe not buy all the quantity in one shot, but clearly I think, the market news is that possibly after Maggi, some other products also could come under the, regulator scanner, which looks to be very unlikely. And my sense is, I think if you average it out, I think anything up to say 56 or 5,700 could definitely give good value, provided, the time window is at least 1.5 years, which I think is reasonable. I think clearly, 1 quarter may be bad for Maggi noodles. They could take a hit on their top line and profitability, which was a very profitable product. But longer term, I think if you take FY17 kind of numbers, I think definitely, all these short term kind of losses could get, more or less compensated.